Imagine a world where the food we eat is grown without chemicals. No pesticides, no synthetic fertilizers, just pure, natural farming. A world where the land and the people who tend it work in harmony, producing some of the most remarkable crops that seem to defy nature itself. What if I told you that in the heart of America, there's a group of farmers who've cracked the code to growing massive, delicious tomatoes without relying on chemicals or modern agricultural shortcuts? And what if this method has been passed down for generations, untouched by the pressures of the modern agricultural world? Today we're diving deep into one of the most closely guarded secrets of the Amish community, how they grow giant tomatoes without using chemicals. But before we jump into this revolutionary farming technique, let me warn you, once you see how it's done, you'll never look at your tomatoes or your food the same way again. The Amish live a life of simplicity, relying on traditional farming methods passed down through generations. But don't be fooled, this isn't just about nostalgia, it's about survival. In a world where the agricultural industry is dominated by chemicals and artificial shortcuts, the Amish have chosen a path of resilience. They're proving every day that you can grow massive crops without sacrificing the health of the soil, your family, or your community. It all begins with the soil. The Amish understand something that most modern farmers have forgotten. Healthy soil is the foundation of everything. It's the heart of their success. You see, the Amish don't rely on synthetic fertilizers to force growth. Instead, they build the health of their soil from the ground up. Through a practice known as crop rotation, they prevent soil depletion and maintain balance in their fields. By planting diverse crops in different seasons, the soil is naturally enriched, ensuring that when the tomatoes are ready to grow, they have all the nutrients they need. But there's more, something even more profound that the Amish do to supercharge their soil, and it's something that could revolutionize the way we think about farming forever. Stick around and I'll reveal it in just a moment. While commercial farming uses chemical fertilizers to force crops to grow faster, the Amish take a different approach. They rely on compost, rich, organic material from animal manure, crop residues, and other natural sources. It's not just about feeding the plants, it's about feeding the soil itself. This compost isn't just thrown on the soil, it's carefully prepared, often in long, slow processes that take time, patience, and attention. The result? Soil that is alive, filled with beneficial microorganisms, and ready to nourish the crops in a way that synthetic fertilizers never could. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Amish don't just stop at compost. They also use an ancient technique that's been around for centuries, and it's been quietly producing some of the largest, healthiest tomatoes you've ever seen. What is it? Stay with me, I'll reveal it soon. Mulching. It's a technique so simple yet so powerful. By covering the soil with organic materials like straw, grass clippings, and leaves, the Amish create a protective barrier that keeps moisture in, prevents weeds, and regulates temperature. But the benefits don't stop there. This mulch also helps to create a habitat for natural predators, beneficial insects that keep harmful pests at bay. This means the Amish don't need to spray chemicals to protect their crops. Nature itself does the work. This may sound like a dream, but it's real. And it's a practice that's so effective it could be the answer to many of our modern agricultural challenges. But how do the Amish know which pests to allow and which to control? The answer might surprise you. Keep watching. But none of this would be possible without the sense of community that defines Amish life. The Amish are not just farmers, they are stewards of the land, sharing wisdom, techniques, and labor across generations. They don't just grow tomatoes, they grow together. It's a collective effort where each person contributes, whether it's planting, harvesting, or preserving. There's a deep respect for the land and for each other, a shared commitment to sustainable, chemical-free farming. Now, this sense of community has another benefit, one that ties directly to the growth of those giant tomatoes, and it's something that most people never see, but it's essential to the Amish's success. I'll share this hidden detail with you in just a moment. So, what's the secret behind those enormous tomatoes? What's the one thing the Amish do that others don't? It's a technique that's been quietly passed down through generations, and it's nothing short of genius. The Amish use companion planting, a method where they strategically plant certain crops alongside tomatoes to promote healthier growth. For example, basil and marigolds are planted near tomatoes to repel pests, improve flavor, and even boost the plant's immune systems. But that's not all. They also use an ancient form of green manure that adds nutrients to the soil and encourages stronger, healthier tomato plants. And here's the kicker. This technique is so effective it can double or even triple your crop yield. Imagine the potential if every farm adopted this. But there's one more secret that the Amish use to make their tomatoes thrive. It's a homemade organic spray that's become a staple in their chemical-free farming practice. While most farmers turn to pesticides to ward off pests, the Amish rely on natural remedies that work in harmony with nature. They mix herbs like garlic, hot pepper, and neem oil into a solution, which they then spray onto the leaves of their plants. This not only keeps pests away, but also strengthens the plant's resistance to diseases. What's truly remarkable about this method is that it doesn't just repel the bad insects, it encourages beneficial ones like ladybugs and predatory beetles to stay in the area. Imagine a world where your garden fights pests naturally, without the need for harmful chemicals. This technique might just be the key to sustainable farming in the modern age. Harvesting the tomatoes is a moment of celebration for the Amish. It's not just about reaping what they've sown, it's a reminder of the deep bond between the land and the people who tend it. But the Amish don't stop at just harvesting. They preserve their tomatoes for the long winter ahead, ensuring that their crops continue to provide nourishment even when the growing season ends. They make homemade sauces, canned tomatoes, and even dried tomatoes, all without any artificial additives or preservatives. This self-sufficiency is not just a way of life, it's a philosophy of resilience and sustainability. In a world where grocery store shelves are lined with heavily processed foods, we have to ask ourselves, how much longer can we rely on products that are artificially engineered to last longer, but at what cost to our health and our planet? The truth is, the way big agriculture operates today isn't sustainable. Our reliance on chemical fertilizers and pesticides has led to soil degradation, loss of biodiversity, and even health problems for those who consume conventionally grown food. We are at a crossroads, and if we continue down this path, the consequences could be irreversible. But the Amish are proving that it doesn't have to be this way. They've created a blueprint for a different future, a future where we can nourish the land, our bodies, and our communities all at the same time. This isn't just about tomatoes. This is about the future of our food, the future of our planet. And we can learn so much from the Amish about the power of simplicity, sustainability, and community. But here's the big question. Can we adopt some of these Amish practices in our own lives? The answer is yes. You don't have to live on an Amish farm to grow healthy, chemical-free tomatoes. In fact, many of the techniques they use can be applied right in your own backyard or local community garden. By focusing on soil health, using natural fertilizers, composting, and embracing companion planting, you can start growing your own giant tomatoes without chemicals. And by growing your own food, you take a stand against the industrial farming system that's damaging our environment. Now is the time. The world is at a tipping point, and the choices we make today will impact the generations to come. But we have the power to change things. We can be a part of a movement that brings back healthy, sustainable food for everyone. The Amish have shown us that there's a better way, one that doesn't rely on chemicals or modern shortcuts, but instead embraces the wisdom of the earth. Their methods are not only sustainable, but they're thriving in today's world. Now, we have a choice. We can keep following the same path, or we can create a new one that puts health, sustainability, and community at the forefront. The Amish are showing us the way, but it's up to us to take the next step. So, are you ready to start growing your own chemical-free tomatoes? To take action and reclaim your connection to the land? Because if the Amish can do it, so can you. Thank you for watching. If you found this video inspiring, please share it with others. Let's spread the word and start a movement toward healthier, more sustainable farming. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories, tips, and ideas to transform the way we live, grow, and eat. Together we can bring back a healthier, more natural way of life. It starts with us, right now.